And we're talking about illegal immigration.
Right.
I'm very pro-immigration.
So am I.
We need immigrants in this country. We got a 1.6 birth rate. We need 2.1 to sustain our infrastructure here. I welcome immigrants into this country, but we need to know who they are, don't we? We need to know who it is that's coming into our country. We need to be able to sort through these people and those that are enemies of the United States that are coming in the country, those that are on the terror watch list coming into the country. Those people certainly need to be filtered and stopped. And when you come into the United States illegally, that's a felony.
It's a felony, and it's obviously deportable. Even the nickel and dime stuff they keep getting popped with. I wanted to know what's going to make people wake up. We have sound now from a Venezuelan migrant in the country illegally, bragging about ripping the country off. Listen to this.
You came to the United States to work, and I came to vacation. Look at the difference. She is the one that maintains me. That is why I don't work, because the government gives her what belongs to her, to my daughter, for being an American citizen. Capiche? I have no need to work because, well, guys like few of you, this little princess, for being American, already receives a lot of money. Capiche? The trick is to have children in the United States. Here is the gold mine. The gold mine.
All right, guys, so the tides are turning in this country because, like I told you guys before, and I will say it again, the best way to red pill a liberal / Democrat / progressive, the best way to red pill anybody on the left is to give them what they want, okay? They have to suffer the consequences of their cuckoo for Cocoa Puff insane policies in order for them to realize that the policies that they want so bad are not good for them. It's a damn shame that this is what we have to do in order to get Democrats and leftists to realize that their policies make absolutely no sense. And in a lot of cases, unfortunately, people get hurt. People lose their lives before people realize that, hey, these policies aren't good. Like, for example, when it comes to having an open border. For the first time ever, we have a majority of Americans, 53% in favor of finishing construction of the border wall amid a spike in crossings, which is correlated with a spike in crimes across these liberal cities in the United States that have been receiving these illegal immigrants, okay? These sanctuary cities that said they love illegal immigrants, right? Yeah. The American people are finally saying that, hey, we need a secure border, okay? We need to do something about the flow of illegal immigrants into this country, which should have been common sense, okay? But unfortunately, again, for Democrats, you got to learn the hard way before you actually realize the consequences of your policies, okay? And again, this is coming in the wake of the tragic Laken Riley murder that happened at the hands of an illegal immigrant, Mr. Jose Antonio Ibarra, who came into this country illegally and then kidnapped this 22-year-old nursing student and ended up killing her, okay? Again, this guy is a Venezuelan migrant who was charged with, again, murdering Miss Laken Riley. And this is now a national news story that Democrats are running away from because clearly and obviously this is a result of Joe Biden's open border policies. I mean, I think it's safe to say that Democrats have blood on their hands, okay? Because you can connect this directly back to Biden's open border policies, just allowing illegal immigrants into this country unvetted. And it's not just the Democrat border policies that you can connect this back to. You also can connect it back to the Democrats' soft on crime policies and their sanctuary city policies. In this case, we're talking about New York, that is soft on crime, that is a sanctuary city, that apparently harbored this illegal, and this illegal committed crimes in New York City, but he got let out anyways, and ultimately, this is what it led to.
Murder in Georgia that actually might have ties back to our area. Police there in the state have arrested a Venezuelan migrant for the murder of a University College student.
He was previously arrested here in New York, raising concerns about why he was set free. Robert Moses, are we really raising concerns about that? Isn't that the way it works here?
Well, Roseanne and Kurt, first of all, he was charged with non-bail eligible offenses, but even that's beside the point, because given that New York is a sanctuary city, the police department would not have told the feds about his arrest. So here we are. Laken Riley was a Dean's List student who went out for a run on Thursday and never came back. Her death is renewing calls to fix the crisis at the border. Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms to Fox News that the NYPD arrested 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra in September and charged him with acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17 and a motor vehicle license violation. 1 year earlier, Ibarra, a Venezuelan national, had illegally entered the U.S. near El Paso. Last week, police arrested him for the murder of Laken Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student at Augusta University. She was found dead near a lake on the campus of the University of Georgia, where she had previously attended. Ibarra appeared in court on Saturday, but he was not seen on camera. A judge denied his bond. Ibarra's wife told the New York Post that she and Ibarra married so they could join their asylum cases. I have a lot of faith that this wasn't him, that there was a misunderstanding somewhere, she told the paper. But if he did, he has to pay for what he did, truly. Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp laid the blame for the border crisis at President Joe Biden's feet.
This is an issue that the president can take action on. And I know he's trying to blame, inaction in Congress. That is passing the buck. We know that there's things that he can do.
Back here in the city, police say they are looking for at least 16 more people in connection with the stabbing in Times Square Thursday of a 17-year-old who is believed to be a migrant from Nicaragua. The NYPD released these images of outstanding suspects. 6 people have already been arrested for their roles in the stabbing. Police say the suspects punched and kicked the victim and stabbed him in the back. He was taken to Bellevue Hospital in stable condition. Police say the suspects were last seen entering the Times Square subway station. President Biden arrives here in the city later on today, right around 1:40 or so, and then he will leave tonight. He's expected to tape an interview with late-night host Seth Meyers while he's here in Rockefeller Center, so expect traffic tie-ups in and around that area, and we'll also be watching to see if he says anything about this migrant crisis. Kurt and Rosanna, back to you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Well, no, he's not going to say anything about it except blame Trump because he doesn't really give a shit, okay? Biden does not care. He does not care about the open border. He does not care about all the lives that are lost as a result of his open border policies. All he cares about is accumulating power and control for himself and the Democrat Party, which is what all of this really is about, okay? That's exactly what this is about for Democrats. But again, like I told you guys, some Democrats are learning the hard way because, as you guys saw in that news clip, this illegal was in New York. He lived in New York. He was charged with a felony. And despite being charged with a felony, he was let out immediately and he wasn't deported, which is supposed to happen to illegal immigrants when they get, charged with felonies and things like that. They're supposed to detain the illegal and have ICE come and pick up the illegal and then deport the illegal. But they didn't do that because New York City, you guessed it, is a sanctuary city. Like, quite literally, that is the definition of a sanctuary city. A sanctuary city helps harbor illegal immigrant criminals, right? When illegal immigrants commit crimes, the sanctuary city helps protect them from being deported by the feds, which, again, sounds just insane to think about, okay? That we have cities that are actively working against the federal government, keeping the federal government from doing their job. And Eric Adams seems to have had enough, okay? He seems to see the writing on the wall in regards to the consequences of this cuckoo for Cocoa Puff sanctuary city policy, because he is now coming out and suggesting a reversal, or at the very least some changes to New York sanctuary city policy amid the spike in crime and criminal offenses that are being committed by these illegals coming into the country. Take a look.
We found that people were using the paper plates, doing robberies, taking the plates off, and it's difficult, they're ghost plates. We found that some of the mopeds were being used for crime, snatch and grab, stick-ups. It became a real problem. So the chief and his team focused on those illegal bikes, those mopeds, those paper plates, and that is what the real outcome has been. Many of them, we found drugs in cars, guns in cars. They were being used to commit the crime. Now, the overwhelming number of migrants and asylum seekers that are here, they want to work. I still don't understand why the federal government is not allowing them to work. They need to have the right to work, like all of us that have come to this country had the ability to do so. But those small numbers that are committing crimes, we need to modify the sanctuary city law that if you commit a felony, a violent act, we should be able to turn you over to ICE and have you deported. It is a right to live in this city, and you should be not committing crimes in our city for doing so. Right now, we don't have the authority to do so.
Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing, because initially Eric Adams was saying that the problems with the illegal immigrants had nothing to do with New York City being a sanctuary city. Now fast forward to the negative externalities of illegal immigration, which were inevitable: crime, destruction, chaos. Oh, now all of a sudden we need to modify the sanctuary city laws to be able to have ICE deport the illegals that commit crimes, right? Well, again, that is the whole point of the sanctuary city law, right? I mean, that's the whole point. The whole point is to protect illegal immigrants that are criminals. But now all of a sudden, that they're doing exactly what people told you that they would do. I mean, what else did you think would happen? I mean, they don't have any jobs. They can't work. Okay. What else are they going to do? I mean, this is exactly what they're going to do. You let them into the country illegally. They can't speak English. A lot of these people that are coming over are gangs, Venezuelan gangs. In fact, Venezuela, I was reading a story about how Venezuela, their violent crime has hit a low because all of the gangs have left Venezuela and they come to the United States, right? So you have these violent Venezuelan criminals here in the United States, operating in the United States, courtesy of the Biden administration, letting them in. Because if you come to the border and you say, I'm hungry, I need asylum, right? They're going to let you in, right? That's what they're going to do. And look at the result. Look at the result. Again, it's amazing to me how it takes a story like what happened to Laken Riley for people to realize that your policies are bad, that there are bad consequences. There are terrible consequences. There are life-threatening consequences to your stupid policies. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It should not have to get to this point, okay? We should not have to have young girls be murdered in order for people to realize, oh, letting illegal immigrants into the country unvetted is not a good idea. Oh, being soft on crime and just letting people out of jail, even when they commit felonies, is not a good idea. Having a sanctuary city where we don't help the federal government deport illegals is not a good idea. Again, it's amazing. Why do we have to suffer the negative consequences of these policies? Why do people have to lose their lives before Democrats actually realize that, hey, our ideas are bad, right? Our ideas are stupid and they're terrible. It's a damn shame. It really is. It's a damn shame. But see, Eric Adams knew this the whole time. He knew that sanctuary city was a bad policy. But again, these Democrats have bought and sold themselves to the progressive movement, who thinks that it's okay to just let illegals into the country because, they don't want to be xenophobic, right? And then also big business that wants cheap labor, right? The illegal immigrants. So this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. And this is the result. And now all of a sudden, Eric Adams realizes that, oh, okay, this is probably not a good idea, right? We need to reevaluate this. Well, I mean, it seems to be too little too late, Mr. Adams. This is something that you should have did when you came into office. You should have been talking about getting rid of the sanctuary city policy and restoring some common sense back to our immigration system in which we secure the border and we don't just allow people to take advantage of the asylum system just to come into this country unvetted. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.